People often ask how to write a book. Now, there is no one size fits all, but today I'll share with you my own process of writing a book, how I research, how I edit, and how it comes to the finished product. So I'll be sharing with you what it took to make my new book, Enlightenment Now. My process of research is probably just like many other authors. It consists of reading, and more reading, but also putting what you are learning in theory into practice. Now, these books here are just some of what it took to create Enlightenment Now. And my method of researching is, as I said, very simple. You need obviously some tape, pencil, and when you read and you find key parts in the book that you want to remember, you mark them, or quotes that inspire you, you mark them. For example, I can pull out, what is this? This is The Perennial Philosophy by Aldous Huxley. And as you see, there's a lot of goodies there. And I've used this book for most of my books, actually, as part of my research. And yeah, you put a tag on, you write why this is significant, and then you move on. And that's basically the process of research. Like I said, you can read, but if you don't fully embody what you're reading, then it's hard to produce that into your own writing. So, especially if you're going to write about spiritual content or philosophical content. Now, after all the research has been done, it's time to finally start writing a book. Now, my process for writing a book is different to a lot of authors these days. A lot of authors will choose to write their book on a computer and sit in front of a computer screen. I can't actually do that. For myself, I feel that it kills my creativity. I'm good at writing emails on a computer, obviously, but when it comes to writing a book, I don't feel comfortable. I was introduced to traditional writing a book, so handwriting. So, first of all, I go and buy myself a good book, a good notepad, and then after everything has been done, all the research, and I feel like it's time to start writing, then I begin the writing process. So for Enlightenment Now, I began this the 5th of March 2014 in Sarapi, which is a small place outside of Chiang Mai in Thailand. And pardon the messy writing, but I usually write fast and consistently. So this is some of my process. I get into the handwriting process, and then I actually filled this whole notebook up. So then I had to obviously buy a new one. And as you go further and further and further, the book was complete. Again in Sarapi, just outside of Chiang Mai, and 29th of July 2014. Now, during the process, I don't actually handwrite the whole book all the way to the end. I usually will write a few chapters, and after I handwrite a few chapters, then I will type them up on the computer. So I try to keep both of those, the typed aspect and the handwriting aspect, as close together as possible. So when it comes to the last chapter, after I've just handwrote, I don't have to sit there and type up a whole book. I'm almost up to speed with the handwriting aspect. Then after that process, then once I've typed it all up, then it's time to go to the printer and print it out. And so I usually print out a full book, and as you see, the subtitle is different here, Liberation is Your True Nature. My working title was Exploring the Paradox of Enlightenment in Relation to Spiritual Practice, Conventional Thinking, and Our Philosophy of Time. That's a tongue twister, but I didn't go with that. Liberation is Your True Nature came to me actually when I was walking to a tea shop with my wife and Tiruvannamalai in India when we were living there. Now, when I print the book out, then it's time, the anxious time of beginning to edit. Now, this is a second copy of an edit, so there's not that many additions. Here we find an addition here. So I've added to this specific part here, and that's an addition to the book. So like I said, this is a second copy. So the first copy, you would have just saw squiggly lines all through it. I've recycled that since that time. And after this, basically, when you go through the book and you edit it all and you're satisfied with it, then it's time to work on your book query and your book proposal to shop it around to publishers. And fortunately for me, Enlightenment Now, Liberation is Your True Nature was picked up by Inner Traditions, and it become this beautiful looking book here. And that's my process basically of how to publish a book. It may not seem difficult, but it is a long and arduous process, and it can have its anxious moments. But when you see the finished product, all of the pain was worth the reward.